Yo, this is kind of an unexpected video for me to make. This is unscripted as well. Most of my videos, I have a script and I kind of freestyle it, but this is straight freestyle because this is just coming straight from the heart. As a longtime fan of Grand Theft Auto, I literally have the original Grand Theft Auto. I'm not saying I beat it, but I beat all the 3D games, GTA, well, except for the story games. I beat GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, which is my favorite of all time, Grand Theft Auto 4, which has my favorite narrative and story and main character of all time, GTA 5. I beat all these games on pretty much my initial playthroughs without any kind of codes. You know, I did certain challenge runs. Like, I think I beat GTA 4 on PS3 with a handgun, but that's just besides the point. What I want to talk about today to y'all, to my followers, is how a shit show Grand Theft Auto 6 is. Now, everybody that is in tune with the gaming community has seen the pricing: $80 for the standard edition, $100 for, you know, the complete edition.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And that's exactly what it is. I don't understand why. Well, I understand why people that don't like reading the fine print, that just see Grand Theft Auto 6 up there, they'll look at the $80 and then they'll see the GTA Plus subscription and be like, oh, I'm getting a deal. But allegedly they're cutting cosmetics, I guess, like certain interiors that you can go through. That's what I heard people saying. I'm not really trying to go too far into that because I don't really like going too much into detail of games that I know I was going to buy game one, and was is the key word. I'm on the fence, honestly. The $100 is the full experience. You get nothing held back from your experience. You can go anywhere, you can buy anything, customize your character how they wanted you to, and all that. Now, $100 for a complete game is already a lot out the gate. I understand certain games, you know, they'll drop the standard edition and they'll drop the DLC. Well, this isn't DLC at all. This is literally the standard game, and they just cut content in, and then they say, well, if you want the rest of the content, $20 more. And I can't rock with that because, let's be real, no matter how people feel about it, people like me making videos, which kind of like sparked me to make this video, no matter how you feel about it, people are gonna buy GTA 6. I actually already saw somebody on my, you know, one of my friend lists on one of my social medias I'm about to delete pretty soon. He actually bought, you know, Grand Theft Auto 6. And another thing as well, every Grand Theft Auto game that I have bought in my life has been physical. I know I bought majority digital over the years because it's easy use, and once you go digital, it's pretty hard to go physical. And I understand that, just the ease of convenience, but when you look at the fine print, you're buying a license for the same price as the physical. You know, and sometimes the digital is more expensive than the physical, and sometimes the physical is more expensive than the digital. Just a lot of shenanigans. But my thing is, and this is another video, if it's a digital copy, why are we still paying the same price for physical? And this is another thing too. Grand Theft Auto 6's physical edition that they're dropping on launch day, quote unquote physical, is not gonna be physical because it's gonna have a code in box for you to download. So everybody that was crying about the game key cards on the Switch 2, I feel you, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But where's the anger and upset for this? Why would you even drive to the store and get, you know, the box with a code in it when you just log onto your PlayStation, get it digital? That's not even really yours, let's be real. Because if your account gets banned, or if the company decides that they don't want to support the game anymore and just pull it from the servers and then make it inactive, like the most damning the most damning example, that's how you know it's not scripted. The most damning example is Concord on the PlayStation. A lot of people bought that game. I know, you know, sales wise it tanked, but still, I don't care if it was 1,000 people that bought it. Like a lot of people bought it. A lot of people was invested into it, probably having fun with it, and then they can't have fun with the game no more because Sony said, you know what, this is a failure, let's just pull it. And I don't know if the people got refunds for it. They most likely did, but that's not the point. You wanted that product and you paid for it only for them to take it off the shelves. And another example is the Crew games by Ubisoft. I know Ubisoft is not loved in the community. I don't like them either. But the Crew literally was an online racing game, for those that don't know. Completely, supported online. They had I guess the gimmick was that you could race all the way across the United States and different, seeing different landmarks and areas and whatnot. So it was a pretty unique idea, but the cars drove like dog shit, so I didn't like it personally. If you did, hey, it is what it is. I'm a racing snob, so racing is one of my favorite genres. I didn't like that game, so if you did, cool. So knowing that they can do that with digital games, I never really have felt secure in it, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how many games I have on my PlayStation, because I've had the same account since the PS3 era, but I didn't really buy digital in the PS3 era. I didn't really buy a lot of digital in PS4. I bought a lot of digital and claimed a lot of digital games the PS5 era. In this era, in the PS4 era, I had probably close to 400 games on just my PlayStation. So if something happens to that account, I'm just done with PlayStation, because that's just too much time invested, too much, got platinum trophies, well, a platinum trophy, I don't really trophy them, but that's just besides the point. So what I'm trying to say here, it's just not worth the $100. It should come at a discount. Honestly, I think every digital game should come at a discount. But back to GTA6, what I really am worried about, considering that we haven't really seen gameplay, we've only seen curated cutscenes, that they show for the crowd. Everybody's into the game. They show you these cutscenes to get you more invested. And to be honest with you, since day one, I have been worried about GTA 6 before the first trailer. Now I'm a little bit worried about it, because if y'all remember, GTA has always had, these little cutscenes or whatever, but eventually gameplay leaked, within a year. And honestly, thinking back then, we got a whole bunch of GTA games on the PS2, so that's besides the point. But what I'm trying to say is, since the people that worked on the original games, the 3D era game, Grand Theft Auto 3 through Grand Theft Auto 5, they're no longer there. The director, the writers for the story and whatnot, they're all gone. And then when you look at the people that replaced them, they don't look like they're gonna make a great GTA game. That's just what I'm gonna say. We're in an era where everything has to be politically correct, and if you play the older games, nothing was politically correct. Come on, man. It was literally, I remember, I'm the type of gamer, when I get GTA, as soon as I can get into a car, I'm riding around just listening to the radio stations, usually the talk shows. And the talk shows were always unhinged. I remember in Grand Theft Auto 4, there was a talk show host where a lady was crying about domestic abuse by this dude, and he made a whole joke of it, and he was just yo, shut up, you talked enough, because the dude was obviously lying. It was satire, so I don't support domestic abuse. It was just funny because the way it was delivered. And then the dude, he was just so sarcastic, you could tell he was a bum, but the judge was bigging him up, oh yeah, you've been through a lot and all that, and it was just funny. It was funny. And there was just so many different, examples that I can think of in these talk shows. I'm not going to do it because, I don't want the video to stretch longer than it has to. But past the talk shows, even the story missions, the side missions, they would actually make fun of different tropes of society. I don't think that they're going to have the cojones to make fun of the LGBTQ. And I'm not saying we should bully the LGBTQ, but let's be real. Everybody knows that they're the most protected group out west. If you say anything bad about them, you're a bigot. You're every kind of phobic in the land. If you don't support the pride festivals as a straight person, then you're just, you're every name under the sun but the child of God. So knowing that we're in that era, especially where a lot of women are very sensitive with a lot of things. Well, everybody, I'm not even gonna say women, everybody, men included, is very sensitive crying. That's why comedy's dying, because everybody gets offended. Oh, you said this joke, that's offensive. I'm gonna cry on online for years. For years. I realized when comedy was unalived when Dave Chappelle got tackled on stage mid-performance. Dave Chappelle, and say what you want about Dave Chappelle, you know, his recent stand-ups, I ain't really been feeling him like that, but he got some classic stand-ups, like classics, and people still be checking them out. So the fact that he got tackled on stage because somebody was offended kind of reminds me of when Peter from Family Guy, he was at like this comedy show and they started roasting him, and he like literally ran from the back row to the front and punched the comedian in the face. You know, it kind of reminds me of that. Like, comedy is just over with, and Grand Theft Auto was funny. It was funny. Like, certain characters were funny because that's how they were designed. And I feel like Grand Theft Auto, it is highly anticipated as it is. It should be as unhinged as possible. It's Grand Theft Auto. So I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think it's gonna be the case of the story just not being that great. And I know Grand Theft Auto 5 story wasn't the best, you know, but it was engaging. I actually cared about those characters. Here, I don't think I will. I'm gonna call it now. This is how the story gonna go. Lucia, she's gonna be the main character. The dude on the side is gonna be like the Franklin of GTA 6. When I say the Franklin, I mean Franklin was like the least narratively driven character in that game. It was pretty much all about Michael, then Trevor, then Franklin. I feel like majority of the game is going to be all about Lucia, her being a girl boss and taking all these men down and, you know, putting her foot on their neck and all that. And the other dude, which is crazy because I know Lucia's name, but I don't know his name because he hasn't really been marketed. He just, you know, I don't know his name. If you do, put it in the comments. Appreciate you. But I feel like he's gonna be a cool dude, but he's gonna fall in line with Lucia. She's gonna be calling the shots, and that's exactly why, you know, I'm very annoyed with modern gaming, because I love women. I feel like women can do a lot of things that men can do, so that's not even about that. But the fact that we have games with male leads that all of a sudden just went into female leads, and it just seems forced. It just seems forced. And don't even get me started on Lara Croft. Lara Croft was a sex symbol. I don't care how you feel about, oh, you're being a bigot. No, she was a sex symbol. Angelina Jolie was the original Lara Croft, and she was a sex symbol. Everybody had a crush on Angelina Jolie. I did. You did if you was back then. Everybody did. She was gorgeous, and that's what Lara Croft was based off of. Now they don't turn her into, you know, a white girl that I see at Walmart every day. She's no longer a sex symbol, and everybody's just like, oh, this is great. I mean, the gameplay gonna be okay, and the gameplay, I'm turning this into a whole video game rant, but Grand Theft Auto 6 is just gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be disappointing in the long run. I feel like it's just, they're gonna give us a lukewarm story that we're really not gonna care about like that at all compared to, you know, the previous games. I feel like it's gonna be better than GTA 3 story, but that's not saying much. But it's not gonna be better than Vice City. Definitely not better than San Andreas or 4. Hell no, not better than 4. And I even think 5 will be better. As far as the actual gameplay, I think the gameplay is just gonna be the standard open world games that we've been playing for years. It's just Grand Theft Auto in a new fresh coat of paint. I mean, the interactions, the world is going to be unique. I feel like they're going to expand on that. But as a player that enjoys like the campaign and, you know, the radio stations and just want to unplug in an unhinged world away from this political correct nonsense, I feel like we're going to be missing that. I feel like it's going to be very politically correct. And that's gonna basically be the end of Grand Theft Auto for me, if it's politically correct. And I know I said, you know, oh, they're not making fun of LGBTQ. I don't care who they're making fun of. I don't care if they make fun of black people and I'm black. I don't care if they make fun of white people, Asians, gay, straight. They made fun of everybody. They had a stereotype for everybody that was either funny or real. And I feel like they're not going to be doing that because they're too scared to offend these snowflakes of this era. It's literally the best time to be alive when it comes to technology before the data centers. Look those up. But it's also the worst time to be alive because we had worldwide access to cry. And I never understood like why, like if somebody offends me, there's been a whole bunch of people that offended me. There's been products that offended me. You know what I did? I unsubscribed, blocked them, or just stop supporting them entirely and moved on with my life. I didn't sit there and be like, man, this is offensive, I'm gonna get other people be offended. That's some, man, I hate people like that. And I'm not really a hateful person, but I really cannot stand people like that. And that's pretty much what I gotta say about it. I feel like it's gonna be a 9 out of 10 game because it's Grand Theft Auto. There hasn't really been any bad Grand Theft Auto games gameplay wise. But the fact that we don't have any direct gameplay, when I'm pretty sure Grand Theft Auto 5 did leading up to it. I don't remember if San Andreas, well, I'm pretty sure 4 did. But I don't know if like the PS2 era games did because they came out, put it like this, Grand Theft Auto 3 came out late 2001 and then Vice City came out a year later in 2002 and then San Andreas came out fall 2004. 3 big games dropped within 3 years. So what I'm trying to say is like maybe they didn't have gameplay trailers back then. I can't really remember back that far, but it's just no excuse in this era. They know everybody's waiting for it, which is like a red flag. Why don't you just put out like a 5-10 minute gameplay trailer? You just running around wreaking havoc, so we can see the bullet damage, so we can see the physics, so we can see how Lucia and the other dude moves around, so we can see how they interact with the world. We don't get that. We get $80 for the GIMP version, $100 for the full version. Put up or shut up, and it's all digital. Oh, and then I guess like they responded to the backlash of people being upset that they weren't going to have a physical, release, because a lot of people like me been playing these games for years, and I still have my physical copies of all the Grand Theft Auto games that I have, so a lot of us was just looking for, day one, actually going to the store like the old days and picking it up and popping it in, even if you got to install it or whatever, that, like how a lot of modern games are. But at least, the experience, they took away that experience. So it's just, I don't know, gaming itself, man, I don't really care if it does crash. I feel like it is going to crash, because what's going to happen is, when this game sells well at $80 with GIMP content and then $100 with all the real content, other developers gonna be looking around like, well, dang, Grand Theft Auto did it, so we gonna have $80 standard editions or $70 standard editions, and then the full game gonna be $80 or $90. Like, I can see it coming from a mile away, and a lot of people are not gonna be doing that for every random game. I'm not doing it for no game. In fact, I don't even pay full price for a lot of games. The last full price game I paid for was Pragmata, and I ain't even beat that yet because my own issues. But usually I get games on Steam discounts like $5, $10, $20 at the most. I'm talking about like it, it's usually $60, $70, $80, whatever. I don't like paying full price. So already I'm looking at the 80. I was just gonna get the 80, and maybe get the DLC later on or whatever, with the online, if that come out and it's good, hop on there. But I really wasn't a huge fan of the Grand Theft Auto Online after they removed a lot of the glitches where you could clone cars and all that, and put like regular cars that's from the game into online. They patched that, and then me and my best friend were having a lot of fun with the heist that what was that heist called? It was the heist where you go to like you gotta do like a setup and scope out the island, and then you go to the island. You can like scuba dive. You can scuba dive, you know, and get onto the premises, and it's like a stealth mission. If they see you, then everybody's alerted to you, and you're pretty much dead because they just keep coming. But if you can actually get to the, you know, the rare item and then escape. Me and my best friend did that all the time. I did it solo, he did it solo. But last time I played it a couple years ago, I was like, man, all right, so I'm just gonna make a couple million right quick. Nah, drop the dead body. 5 seconds later, the whole complex was alerted. And then I looked online that they had patched it. So like if you leave like a corpse in the middle where everybody can see it, they don't just walk over no more. They look at it and be like, oh my God, somebody's here, which is rightfully so, but it's a game. It's a game. I don't know, man. But yeah, like, comment, sub, to the channel. I make gaming content. I make music related content. I'm actually gonna start dropping music pretty soon. I got a lot of stuff that I wrote. I have to record. And then mental health stuff I'm gonna be talking about. There's a video that's on my heart to put out. I'm just looking for like the right way to say it, because I feel like it's gonna, in the long term, I don't feel like when it comes out it's gonna do a lot, but I feel like once it's out there in the algorithm and people start seeing it's gonna do a lot, and I just want to make sure the delivery's right. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6, man. Grand Theft Auto 6, man. Just gaming is such a shit show now, bro. I ain't gonna keep y'all long. Much love, everybody. Y'all know my slogan. Keep your head low. Keep your family close. Subscribe for more. Like the video and share it to everybody that you know. Much appreciated, y'all. And remember, a word of advice. Just because people talking crap about you from the other side of the room, let them stay on the other side of the room. But if they bring it to your face where they 2 feet in front of you, that's when you can address it. But everybody else, just let children be children and slow people be slow. Just remember that you the smartest person in the room and the brightest angel in the room. So if the demons are flocking to you, that's exactly why. Keep your head up, young soldier. Much love. 1.